of positive energy.
No.
Yeah, I think it is. I think we'll be fine. So, hello.
I was like, are we recording?
Yes, I like to surprise you on the
Look at that. We're in. All right. I won't read my email.
He's good at all those stealth rolls when it actually doesn't matter.
Hello, Patreon friends.
I want to say that I held in a completely tactless comment during the eulogy, which was my one regret was not killing the woman in time.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
Oh, God.
Shot, the rest of them would still be alive.
Oh,
You should
man.
lose sanity for that.
It's always the psychopaths that don't lose the. Hello, Patreon friends. Thank you for all you do for Quests and Chaos. We so appreciate it. This is the after show, Last Call of Cthulhu, and sometimes all you got to do is give the players an ethical dilemma, and then see what they do, and you can have compelling, great storytelling. And I gotta give some props to the writer of this scenario, because they set this up well. So the idea was that Hanratty was a terrible person who found Jesus and moved in with his crazy religious sister, and she loved him more than she loved anybody but her kid. And so she was going to be hook, line, and sinker, all of that. And then Luke, so there's essentially this relationship triangle of who likes, Hank and June are here, and Luke only okay on Hank, but loves his wife. And so you can actually reach Luke if you can not shoot at his wife. But Hank, you can reach if you don't shoot at June, at the sister. And so there was this perfect storm of just everything that could go wrong did go wrong.
It hit me. That one hit me more than I've been hit from a lot of different things. So,
and they talk about, to their credit, they talk about the possibilities that everyone it's just gonna end awfully, and what you do if it ends awfully, and that sort of thing.
So I have a question. So then it's just that relationship, that relationship triangle. It's not like there was, you know what I mean? So basically it's a diagram, if you will. It wasn't like there was a reason for it, because when I was thinking about it, I was like, oh, okay, that actually does remind me of Antigone, the play by Sophocles, where, long story short, the brother gets murdered. So the brother, you know what I mean? And she's she's not allowed to bury her brother, and she's completely pissed about it. And she goes to her, the king, and just saying, you have to let me bury my brother. And, she's married, she has a family, and she commits suicide. And, and she's also, I can't have another brother.
She's also the daughter of Jocasta and Oedipus, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
So
exactly.
The reason that she wasn't able to bury her brother is because the family was cursed.
Right.
Yeah. And it went against Greek law. And I don't know if it.
I mean, that was actually, I added that bit, that nowhere in the game does it suggest that that she will do a murder suicide. And
that was my question, is that what were the options? You know what I mean? Where if you don't do this, then that happens.
Fault.
Yeah, exactly.
But so I essentially, I made sanity rolls for the three particulars, and Luke and Hank were both if they give us the deal, we're going to do it. Hank was okay with that from the beginning, but June was not. And June fumbled her sand roll.
Oh,
and so that's why that was the end solution. She, her role playing hook is defends her family to the end.
The end.
I would debate as to whether or not she did that.
Well, I mean, it was a loose definition of defend, I suppose. But
or the opposite.
Aggressive. The best defense is a good offense. The other interesting thing that almost happened in this module was you almost triggered a magic attack, but you didn't quite. You were very close.
Oh,
Was that the guy in the room?
I don't know where it was, but you almost got whammied.
We don't know
wow.
where it is. We don't know where it is, and that's more to the point.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the important question, is there a chance to do it again?
Always.
Go find those dragon hordes.
You know, towns in the West, you just walk away.
Just let them all burn.
Yeah, whatever is happening in that town, just let it happen.
Well, and that's essentially where Susanna is right now. And this Kobayashi Maru and all of the other many times that she has tried to do the right thing and it just blows up in her face is making her just be like, as soon as this is over, I'm going to go disappear into the prairies. Fuck these people. Fuck all of this. I'm trying to do the right thing. I'm trying to be a good person. And this is not working out.
That is a very common retirement in Call of Cthulhu.
Well, and honestly, like the only reason that she's staying with the group at this point is because she's like, we need to see this tablet dealt with. And then after that, she's like, take my share of the bar. I don't care. I'm going to go back to being a marshal. You guys are all awful people, and I'm not coming anywhere near you again.
Yeah,
Really good impression is what I'm taking away from this.
Sorry, what, Jared?
Wow.
he said he made a really good impression is what he's taking away from that.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I won't prep the second half of this module then. Yeah, I think it's one of the things that I think is important, especially if your GMing style like mine tends towards the sort of broad and, for lack of a better word, slapstick. You need to have moments of like emotional depth so that it's not all either just monster of the week and or haha, we're throwing dynamite, And for me, those moments need to involve actual humans. It's not the same if it's
if she was like possessed or something, it wouldn't have had the impact. The fact that like she was driven to do it on her own means makes you like, why? Like, because it's so foreign, but that she's a person. If it's
I've got to totally figure out how this affects Ramsey. No, I got to figure out how this affects Ramsey too, because Ramsey was, I is almost beating themselves up for not running in and trying to stop stuff. It's like Suzanne kept trying to keep me back, but is that real? You know what I mean? So I have to kind of figure out how this affects, because it affected me for sure.
I mean, as far as Susanna and as far as I can see, if we had gone just running in, it would have ended exactly the same way with us injured as well.
And myself and Elias was thinking, if the kid is there, they won't do anything terrible.
Right.
Oh,
right,
okay.
That was my thought. Because I'm like, the kid will be a calming force.
Right.
And they'll be like, we don't want anything to happen to the kid.
I thought,
Then we're
and
done.
my character is like, you're an idiot. You just sent the kid to his death.
Man, that almost broke
that's a huge sign of
huge what now?
Sorry, I was going to say that's a huge sign of good faith. From like that should have been the look.
That almost broke the dad.
Yeah.
When because he just wanted the kid to get out of there.
Right.
Because the dad pretty once the wife started getting really upset, he knew that this wasn't going to end well, and he just didn't want his son anywhere near it. And so when he came through the door, like that broke the dad big time. He made the sanity roll, because I made the sanity roll right there, and if he had rolled really poorly, he would have just he would have either come out, he would have committed suicide by cop, or he would have committed suicide. He would have just been like, it was really interesting. Just every step, everything, all of the moments that sort of escalated things. Like I loved Elias grabbing the gun away from the kid, because that is such a moment. I as a teacher, I experienced that moment where for me, it was a second grader. I was walking down the hall, and this second grader, Keeman, who never went to class, I saw him in the halls, and I'm like, hey, Keeman, let's get you to class. And he whirls around with his fists clenched, and he just looks at me, and he's like, F you. And then he like squares up to fight. And in my head, the good part of me is like, how I, possibly the only positive male figure in this kid's life right now, respond to this is going to be important. And then the bad side of me is like, a second grader wants to fight you. This is ridiculous. And I laughed, and he immediately deflated. Like just the psychological, like just, I think about that every day, that kid, and what I mean, not what I did to that kid, but just how that impacted him. And I totally saw that when you grabbed that gun from him, because he had the power and he was in control, and it went away like that, because adults can just do that, you know. And that was such a real moment. And there was just a succession of those. I thought you guys were, I know it feels like, you know, it's sort of all despair and that sort of thing, but I just want to say you were all terrific tonight. That story was told as well as you can tell that story. And I mean, I think you should be proud of the story you told, even if it feels like you got kicked in the balls, because sometimes those are stories too, and those are stories that deserve to be told.
Thank you for that. That helps. Believe it or not.
The real question that my character didn't know anything about was the guy in the overalls.
Oh, that was the kid. I should damn it, I should have said that. Yeah. I should have said that the kid was wearing a red shirt. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
I should have dropped that again. Yeah, I should have.
All right.
I should have dropped that again.
Because I thought that there was another, like, suddenly there's another, like, other guy lurking there. Was it Jim? Right. Was it Jim? Was it Jerry? Are they trying to, like?
Oh yeah, no, that's what we thought. Yeah, I thought too, is that there's somebody else. There's somebody else.
They like that claim. Yeah, it says so. The kid basically either is working in the mine or is just out being a kid in the woods. And I rolled, and he was out being a kid in the woods. And once Abe got lost in the woods, you know, I was like, you know, this 14-year-old isn't gonna like draw a gun on him or anything. He's gonna be like, hey, mister, what's going on?
That's why I'm like, go that way. Why? I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, you know who you want to send off in the woods by themselves? Abe.
Absolutely. Because I'm going to make friends with a 14-year-old who's going to whittle some sticks with me, and we're going to wander around. I mean, God, it's like the two most useless people doing what?
play out Huckleberry Finn out there or something.
Pretty much.
There you go.
Oh my God, he's making a steak. I'm like, are there vampires?
That's exactly what I thought. I was like, what is that
vampires? Yes, in the mines. Yes.
He's not a good whittler. That's all he could make is just sharp sticks. You know, he couldn't make a fishing pole or anything like that. All right, well, that is going to do it, Patreon friends. Thank you so much for all the support you give to Quests and Chaos. There's another quest, whatever the hell thing you do, playing D&D, coming up soon. So, you know, get excited for whatever you do. I'm sure somebody will tell you something.
You are going to play in the game on Monday.
Wait, what?
You're playing on Monday.
Oh, yeah.
Sages?
All right, yeah. All right. I was like, wait, what am I doing? What? I have to do something with Patreons? I don't want to talk to those people.
Oh, the Guild of the 5Es. Yes, that is actually coming up. I just have to write it.
There we go.
Just, you know, it's you know what?
It's in November.
It's bullet points.
Yeah.
I know the overall story.
Yeah.
Nice.
It writes itself. Just, you know, everything has a dramatically appropriate amount of hit points, and you go from there.
I know the setting. I know where it is. I know that's about it so far.
Is this going to be one of those ones where you just draw miniatures and that's what they're fighting?
No, that is fun. So the overall storyline is there is a people who raise the bunch of necromancers who raise undead.
It was like, there is a word for this, Thomas. People who raise people from the dead are either clerics or necromancers, depending on which way you're going about this.
Or Jesus.
Yeah. And Jesus sometimes drinks and he shares that wine with all of his undead
Yeah,
and the regulars.
Why didn't you point out that Jesus turned water into wine in the New Testament?
I don't know. I don't know anything about the Bible.
I was too busy thinking about Sophocles.
Yes,
Jesus turned wine into Mad Dog 2020. Now just have some.
Yeah. All right. I think that about covers everything.
All right.
Goodbye, Patreon friends.
Bye.
Good night.